And then we also need to be aware of like when the interviewer did acknowledge an ad. So think of these things while we're listening to, whose is it? Surprise, surprise!
It's gonna be y'all
Gonna
It's my name.
Good now. We said some dumb things.
Ray, why is he couldn't help?
Hey, miss, is it in our class? Yes or no?
Yes. And it was so good, we just wanted to use it. Alright,
Okay. Well, I'm going to be asking you a few questions, and if you don't feel like comfortably answering them, can you just go ahead and say next?
Sure.
What caused you to immigrate?
I was looking for better opportunities because in Ecuador, it's like a very poor society and they didn't have any jobs as it is in the US.
Right. Do you have an example of that?
There's no works in Ecuador?
What do you mean by that?
There's not many works, there's not many job opportunities, because since there's not a lot of money, it's like a low job thing.
How did the experience of immigrants affect your family?
It affected me because we didn't have enough money, and so for me crossing the border, it will affect my family because I wouldn't be with them. Like they wouldn't have that help and support as usually they needed.
Alright. So far we're doing pretty good. Yeah, let's do it. Alright. So remember we're listening for a word for word quote. That means just something they said word for word. And then we're paraphrasing. So far they talked about why she immigrated and how it affected her family. So take a couple seconds to write down some paraphrase or quote word for word quote if you identified one. All right. See if you can listen up for acknowledge an ad.
What was your biggest pain coming to the United States?
What was my what?
Biggest pain coming to the United States?
My biggest pain was leaving my family behind.
Okay. How do you feel about immigration and politics in the United States?
Disgrace.
Disgrace. If you could change the law, how would you change it?
I mean, there's like no way to change the law, but like if you like organize yourself with other people and you get that support, what's it called? Like I don't know how to explain it well, but it's just like when you like get yourself like if you get more people to support you, like to change the law, it will probably happen. I mean, if you speak up and if they hear your voice.
What would you change about? Okay, come here, yes. How would you change it? Let's say no more immigration allowed in the United States. How would you change the law? How did you feel about it? Were you close to your family?
Yes, we were really close, and it really hurted me leaving them behind because they knew I was looking for a good my job in the US.
Do you have any regrets about coming to the United States?
So far, no, because in the United States, as many people know, immigrants, they come here for better job opportunities. So no, because you get money here, you can send them to your country.
Okay. If you could go back in time, would you still come to the United States?
If I could go back to time?
Yeah. And would you still come to the United States?
Yes, because many people like to be here. I know them anything to be here.
Okay. Where are you originally from? Or where were you originally born?
All right. So it was pretty good. Did anybody notice, acknowledge, and add?
Yeah, a little.
Bridget, where? Is that what they do?
Yeah, that was good. What she said, where you go to, because she already asked about her family, and
She was really good at follow-up questions to allow like her interview know that she was like listening and like following up on questions. Maybe she could have done a little bit more of the acknowledging part. So on the third thing, if we can say that she did really good at following up and asking more questions, that obviously represented that she was listening to her, but she never went back and said, oh my gosh, Vero, I totally understand, like, I hear what you're saying, or whatever. So see if you can write down how she could have acknowledged something like that she said. So overall, I think that she did really good. They both did really good. We know that this was like a mock interview, right? But one of the things that I noticed that was really good was number one thing at the beginning when she said, hey, I'm going to be asking you all these personal questions. If you don't feel comfortable, say pass. That I loved. And then the other thing that I noticed that she did so good was when she asked about the policy thing, her interviewee was like, what? Like, not completely there. She didn't really understand maybe what she meant. And she went on to explain a little bit more of the question. So I thought that was really good. No, we're going to do something else though. Once you get done with the acknowledge and add, I want you guys to look up to the board. And these are different examples that we came up with from listening to this interview. And what we need to do is say, thumbs up, it is the correct way to do it, or thumbs down is not the correct way to do it. So if we look at the first one, it says, I was looking for good opportunities because in Ecuador, there is a very poor society and they don't have many jobs like they do in the United States. Is this a quote or a paraphrase? Quote. Does it have a citation?
But does it have a time?
Does it have the time? Yes. Usually in an interview, you would want to put the time for this specific project. We don't need to do the time. So, but we do expect for you to have the last name of your interviewee. That's what that's how you're gonna cite evidence from your interview. So is this thumbs up or thumbs down the correct way to cite? Yes, it is the correct way. Awesome. Let's look at the third appears to be a quote, and it says, her bigger pain was to leave her family behind. Is this a paraphrase or a quote? It's a paraphrase within a quote.
Huh?
That's not possible. It's not correct. Who identified the paraphrase? I could hear somewhere around here, but I couldn't. What was that? Yes, if it was a quote, it would say, my biggest pain. But I was the one writing it, and I was referring to
Her.
the interviewer, the interviewee. So her bigger pain was, which means then that that was not a direct quote, word for word quote, and it does not need to be on quotations. Look at the citation.
Doesn't have the last name.
It doesn't have the last name, it has the first name. So we use the last name, not the first. Awesome. Can you identify if the second one is correct or not?
Yes.
It's correct. Yes.
Because I need the little.
You are not using the quotes, which means that is what? Paraphrase. What other thing makes you feel like it's a paraphrase as well?
The name, I mean last name at that time.
It has a last name. So Ms. Martinez pointed out in last class that sometimes we could come up with a paraphrase and forget about the citation. If it is information that we would not normally know about this individual, we need to make sure that we put a citation there because it would be considered copying other people's work. This is plagiarism. Thank you. Thank you. We're good, yeah. Love it. Alrighty, and what is the fourth one missing? The citation, which will be the first or last name?
Last name.
Perfect. Okay, so take out your notebooks. We're gonna take two notes, and then we're gonna move on.
You don't wanna take it.
That's fire drill, you're cool.
Alrighty, so take out your notebooks. We're gonna take two notes.
What fire was it? You like them on, the fire?
No, these are gonna be grammar notes, where the grammar notes are. These are gonna help you. It will most likely be after your titles.
There's grammar notes?
That's ninth grade, yeah. Do nouns. That's ninth grade. I'm sorry. It's where the do now section is of your note.
I don't know section.
No. So these, if you look at this is descriptions of paraphrasing, and this right here is descriptions. Our descriptions of quoting word for word. So what I want you to do is take one or two bullet points